What's going on, YouTube? This is Luke with Endless Entrepreneurs, just coming to you guys with another video here. It's Wednesday night. I have had a ton of requests over the last probably like 2 months since I posted the spreadsheets I use to manage my eBay business online for free. I've had a ton of questions on how do I use them, how do I fill them out, what's the best way to view them, what metrics are you paying attention to. And I always briefly touch on it in some of my sales update videos, but people have been asking for a little more in-depth and just kind of like a step-by-step, how do I practically use it every day. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to go through that. I am catching up on some record keeping and bookkeeping since I've been traveling. So I thought this was a really good time to just show how I handle it. I preface this by, this is just what I do, what works for me. Everyone's business is slightly different. They're selling different things, they're at a different stage, and you just kind of got to evolve and adapt. But this is what I found works for me and my clothing business. For those of you new to my channel, I am a part-time eBay seller, a full-time corporate finance analyst. I sell men's clothing primarily. I've been expanding into women's of late, and I've got about, for perspective, I got about almost 2,000 active items in my eBay store, so fairly large size store. So this is what I found works for me, especially when preparing for tax time later on. I'm not going to give tax advice in this video, so if that's what you're looking for, I just want to give that up front. But I'm going to show you how I prepare my records ahead of time so that when I meet with my accountant, I have whatever I need prepared so that I at least feel confident that I have a good handle on my business. Also, these trackers help me make sure that I'm making the right decisions on a month-by-month basis, keep track of my goals, make sure that I can adjust and see what's actually going on. I think that data and metrics are huge. I think that it shows you trends and you can pick up mistakes and improvements and things like that. So that's my hope, is that just kind of trying to answer more viewer questions of late. I've gotten a lot of requests for different videos. I've been jotting them down. I never not jot down an idea when someone wants one. So I'm just going to try to deliver 1 or 2 each week for the ones I have. I have a huge backlog of them. So here is one for the viewers who have been asking. Let's say we got 20 watching live right now. Let me just see who's in the chat. Hey, Wade's Ventures. Organically Hannah. Hi, Michelle. Hi, CG Barn, Flipping Daily. Hey, Marcos. Hey, RV. All right, so I'm just going to jump right in for people rewatching this that aren't watching it live. We will do definitely Q&A at the end to address, the questions you have as you watch. I am going to be sharing my screen, so 1 second here. All right. So let me flip over to spreadsheet 1. So this is the one I use on everyday basis for the most part. Occasionally, like when I travel, I get behind and have to update it. But this is the one that I use probably the most. This feeds my profit and loss statement, like my overall one. But this is like my daily tracker that shows the different metrics in my business. And I'll go through each one for sure. I've got a couple days because I was in Austin for Texas for the Greener Meetup, so I got a couple days to catch up on here, and I'll show you guys how I enter them. But let me just first walk through, for those of you new seeing this spreadsheet. I apologize for those of you who do follow, and this isn't new stuff. But so the way I have this set up is I keep track of each day or each month. So as you see here on the bottom, I've got January, February, March. So for each month I have here, oh, I gotta move that out of the way. There we go. So I have each month, and so I just keep track. It's same format and everything. So we're in July now. And the nice part about them is when a month's finished, I have the goals down here, and it shows me how I finished. Now, I don't have this on the template on my website. This is stuff I built in. You can build this in based on your goals. That's why I didn't build it in, because I wanted to leave the freedom for each of you to add whatever goals you wanted in there. This is just how I like to look at it, but the core and the guts of it are on the website. So each day I track about 6 things really. Well, a little less than that. So I track the items I list. So to me, this is right up there, top metric that matters for me in my business is how consistently am I listing and how much am I listing. And for me right now, I have a listing goal of, I've been doing 350 a month. I was going to try to do 450 this month. Might end up being a stretch. We'll see. Shannon's laughing downstairs because I've been traveling a lot. This is going to be tough. But these last 2 weeks, I do have a lot of time. So we'll see what I can get finished. Shannon's driving away. I just sit downstairs. So in any case, each item, the amount of unique active listings is what I track. Now you can track it however you want. If you have a lot of multi-quantity listings, you could do every single one, whatever works best for you. But this to me is a big indicator of, usually if my business starts shrinking, my listings have shrunk. And as my business increases, usually my listings have increased. It's a pretty tight linear relationship between the two. So the second thing I track is the items I sold, and I'll show you in a bit how I do that. But so basically, I just pull each item I sold for the day. I add up the total value, and I put that in this column. So the item sold, the total value, And then I have a calculation here that just takes the total value of the items I sold that day, divides it by the number of items I sold, and it gives me my average sale price. That's what ASP stands for. I think this is also another very important indicator in your business, because when you know what your average cost of goods is and you know what your average sell price is, you can figure out what your profitability is pretty closely, within a couple percentage points. And I think that a lot of people with their businesses, it's really, really important not just to know your ASP, but also to know your average cost of good, because those are the things that are going to tell you if you're being profitable or not. And you could have a super, super high average sell price of $200, $300, but if it costs you $199 to get the product and you only sell it for $200, you're not very profitable. So you got to track both sides of the equation. You can't just track one. And it's nice to see the sales graphs. I love posting my graphs and kind of seeing my progress, but they don't mean as much if your profitability isn't there with the sales. So I just think tracking both is really, really important. So the other thing I do is when I source, I keep track of the number of items I purchased, the total cost from the receipt. If I hit 2 stores, you can see I kind of add them here together. And then a similar equation as to the average sale price. I divide the total cost of the items by the items purchased to get my average cost per item. So that gives me, and this is what I do when I do taxes, guys. I use average costing, so I keep track of all the items I purchased for the year, the total cost of them, and I divide to get my average cost, and I use that for my cost of goods sold. Because all my stuff I buy is clothing, and it's usually lands somewhere between anywhere between $4 and $10 is a pretty tight band. And actually with bulk purchasing, it's been going even lower. I'm pretty comfortable doing that because it's such a large sample size that it evens out and it's pretty close and accurate. And basically what you do is with the balance of what you don't sell, you carry forward to the next year, and that goes into your equation for average costing for the following year. So that's just the way I do it. Instead of tracking the individual item, I don't track every single one through the entire life cycle. So I mean, I keep track of my eBay store, but for tax purposes, I don't track the exact cost of the specific item and track it all the way through. The other thing I keep track of, and this is new, I just added this in on my own. It's not on the spreadsheet on the website, but feel free to add this in. I just added a spot for food and beverage. Last year I did a really, really poor job of keeping track of food and beverage when I was outsourcing and doing things related to the eBay business. And so this year I've done a much better job of entering in, saving all my receipts when I'm out and about, and then each day I just enter whatever category they went into if I was out doing eBay stuff. I don't keep mileage in the spreadsheet. I use the app Mile IQ. I think it's a fantastic app. Highly recommend it, especially if you're part-time. I highly recommend it. It's just easier because you just swipe right or left based on if it's work or not. It keeps track of all your trips for you. So I don't keep track of mileage in here. This is also another column over here I recently added, and this is just when I buy, usually it's when I buy bins or tape or things at the store for my inventory, I put it here. Or if I bought a printer or just whatever, just because these are bigger ticket items that will go on my profit and loss statement at the end of the year. And it's nice to know what month they came in and just to keep track of them over here. In this case, you'll see I have my flights here, which I have my Uber fares, and I had parking, which was these were all expenses that I had when I went on my trip to Austin and to New York, which are both business trips for me because I did thrift at them. The Green Room was a full conference, so the whole thing was. So just these are things I keep track over here just so that when I get to the end of the year, they're right there for me, easy to roll up. So let me get back to the guts of this and show you kind of how I use it. So where I'm behind right now is I haven't put on my listings. So first, the 16th and on, I haven't done. So typically what I would do, I have a notebook right next to me that I just keep track when I'm listing. So I know how many items I list, and I put the date next to it. So I know. So if I ever forget, I always can go back and enter it. So the 16th, I didn't enter any. I didn't list any. I was gone. The 17th, the day I got back, I did not either because it was so crazy. But the 18th, I got back to listing, and I listed 5 things. And then today, so far, I've listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, 12. So I got 12 done this morning for work. Might get a couple more done tonight. We'll see what time looks like. My goal normally is to try and list 15 each morning. I just been trying to get back in the swing of things. Traveling's really set me back. But I do have quite a few days left in July to kick it into gear. Have plenty of inventory to list, which is nice. So it's that simple, guys. That's just the items I listed. So I just type them in. I keep track on my notebook. I keep track of the date, and then I enter them in. The next part is I go to my eBay to get this part. So let me grab that. Chat, looks like we're doing okay. So I go, oh, actually, we got a offer here. That's cool. $38 offer. Cool. This is a bathrobe I bought just a little bit ago. I'm going to accept this. So this was that Barefoot Dreams. Sorry, kind of derailing the video a little bit, but this was that like bamboo robe I found the other day as a women's item. So $38, we'll take that. Awesome. Little mid-video sale for you guys. Any case, so now I go to my orders, and I simply scroll down to the dates that I'm looking for. So you can see on the 19th, I've had quite a few sales here. And I would just, from here, I would just calculate, you know, this plus this plus this, and get to where it is. So I don't want to show a lot of my customer information here, guys. So I'm just going to kind of skip over that part, but I'll give some kind of dummy information. So say like today, I'm pretty sure I'm up to, like, with that sale, I'm probably close to $200. So let's just say I sold 8 items for $200. That gives you an average sale price of 25 bucks. And I would just do that for each day. And so that would populate it and catch up. Now, if I went out and sourced today, which I wanted to do during lunch, but my day just kind of got sideways on me. So let's say I went out and sourced and I found 12 items and it cost me $65. I would type that in, and now it gives me my average cost of goods. And what I have down here, guys, is I have the totals. So it just totals each of these columns. And so for the month, I know I've listed 105 items. I've sold 114. Now, when I talk about metrics right away, that's a bad indicator, right? This is why I like to keep track of it, because if I'm selling more items throughout the month than I'm listing, then my business technically is shrinking. And I think it's really important to know that. Like, you need to, if your sell-through is faster than your listing, you need to either change your pricing strategy to slow it down so you actually can grow your business, or you at least have to keep up with it. Now, the reason for this is because I was traveling for almost half of the month. I was gone, not listing items and selling them, wanting to keep my sales going. So totally cool with that. Now, the other thing with this is, so it tells you your average sale price down here. It keeps track. So you can see it's like 21 bucks. So it's a little low. I've been running a 30% off sale. But keeping track of this average sale price tells me, all right, so am I giving away too much margin? Am I running too high of a sale? Are my items priced too low? Or are they priced too high? Or, you know, and looking at these things, and as they change every single day, as you change data, you start to see trends and patterns and seasons. And I mean, seeing that every day, I think is just so huge for your business and your decision making on what you're buying, when you're selling it, what you're listing it, you know, all those things, what you're selling it for. Additionally, down here, this is kind of extra stuff I have, and you guys have seen this probably in my sales update video, but I typed in my goals here, and then I put in a formula to compare what I have. Basically, I'm taking the total for the month and dividing it by the metric to get what percent I have complete for each month. And so that just kind of keeps track of where I'm at. I need to update sales in this. Hoping to get, I have a goal of 7,000 this month. I'm a little behind that. I think I'm going to get to like 5,500, maybe 6,000. These last couple of days I have really ramped up. These are all $200+ days. So it's been really, really strong sales. I actually sold 6 pair of LBL pants today, which is even better. So this is just kind of the gist, guys. You know, I'll take questions at the end about this. I just want to flip over, though, and show how it feeds into the profit and loss template, because I've had a lot of questions since I did my Q2 wrap-up. So the nice part about this is this number right here comes from each tab of this. And you can link them together if you want. I just hard-code them. But all I have to do is, now that I've kept track all year, is I just come down to whatever month it is, and, oh, what's the total value of the item sold? $46.97. Flip over to here. $46.97. All right. What's the total cost of my goods sold? I go back to this. I would go to my last month, my most current month, because it adds everything together, and I get my cost of goods on the year, which is $2.37. You plug that in here, and then you get it, $2.37, right? Times the number of items I sold. Boom, cost of goods sold, just like that. So keeping track each month just makes it so much easier at the end of the year. You have all of this. You've been tracking your business throughout the year. It's not overwhelming when you get to tax time. And then right down here, so eBay fees and PayPal fees, I actually get these straight off of PayPal. You can get off eBay. You can either eBay seller report, or you can go just straight to PayPal, extract a report, and then filter on the fees. Shipping, I do the same thing. I pivot off of an Excel extract from PayPal. I get all the shipping. So, oh, that's Thor playing downstairs. There is a vendor called eBay Shipping. So you literally just filter on the vendor eBay Shipping, and you can grab your amounts here and just type it in. And then supplies, I just simply, now that we've been keeping track all year, all right, I come back up. Boom, I know this month in June, supply tubs and tables, $146. Plop it right in here. So I just think it keeps it very, like, they kind of feed each other. I have more columns hidden down here. I'm not going to unhide them because those are more like my tax deduction stuff, and I don't know, it's kind of private. It's not part of the business, not the guts of the business. But that's also where I would keep track of like my mileage write-offs, like any donations and all that sort of thing separate. But this is, your operating profit right here. So that's how, in general, the overview of how I use them. I know a lot of people are curious on how I use them on a daily basis and how they feed. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to stop sharing now and jump over to some Q&A. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, let me scroll up, see what I missed. All right, so a lot of people are saying bookkeeping my nemesis. Yeah, it doesn't have to be difficult. If you take 5 minutes a day, like that's really all it is. Maybe 10 minutes a day if it takes a little longer. Once you get into a rhythm, it's so easy, and it just makes your life easier. At the end of the year, you're not stressed out trying to, where to do this receipt, what to do with this receipt. It's like you just keep them as you go. You fill them out every day. You put them in a drawer. At the end of the year, you have them all together. I mean, unless you're doing absurd volumes, I don't think you're gonna have that many receipts. Antonio's in from Australia. How you doing, Antonio? Thanks for stopping in, man. Got Rhonda from Greensboro. Very cool. Flipping Awesome said, I must have been hungry to skip a Goodwill during lunch. No, actually, it was work. I didn't really get to take much of a lunch. It's a really busy time of year right now. We're getting ready to kick off the budget season, and so it's just been a little crazy. So Sharon said, what all does the total value of items sold include? Shipping and fees. Total value of items sold. So I offer free shipping on everything. That's a great question. But I calculate my sales is the sale price plus shipping, because that's how eBay gives you a fee. eBay charges your final value fee off of shipping and your shipping costs and that you charge and your sale price. So I have free shipping on almost everything, so it is what it is. But if you charge shipping, don't think that it's separate. It's actually your full sale price. That's how eBay will charge the fee. So that's what your gross sales actually are, is that shipping plus that is the sale price. So just be aware of that. New Frontier Business said, I used to use a spreadsheet, but GoDaddy bookkeeping is so easy and convenient, it became a no-brainer. I print my schedule C and hand to my CPA every quarter, even shows tax. That's awesome, New Frontier. I've heard a lot of people say that too, and I would definitely recommend that to people, because I've had a lot of people I trust endorse that and say that it's been really good for them. I don't personally use it just because this is easier, and I'm kind of a data nerd, and I like to slice and dice this and look at different metrics like sell-through and different things that you can look at. So that's just kind of how I do it. So Antonio said, doing well, 20 shirts photographed and measured, ready to be listed. Excellent, way to go. Robin said, when you relist an unsold item, does that count as a listing that day? Absolutely not. So Robin, the way I count that is they have to be new, unique items, right? Because relisting is just relisting, and I do good till canceled, so I never really relist. I also want to talk about other metrics that you can gather from this. I think that one of the more powerful statistics really is your sell-through rate. Because if you know your average sale price and you know your cost of goods, you know your approximate margin, and then if you can start calculating your sell-through rate, which to calculate your sell-through rate, what you're doing is you're going to say, for a defined period of time, how many items did I sell and how many items did I have actively listed? So just for simple math, let's say I had 1,000 items listed and I sold 100 in a 1 month period of time. Or let's even go simpler than that. Let's just say I had 1,000 and I sold 100 in 1 day. That means I have a 10% daily sell-through. I sold 10% of my inventory in 1 day. The way I usually calculate it is at the end of the month, I'll look and say, all right, so I had, let me just calculate here. So let's say I had 1,800 active items and I sold 240. Just divide 240 by 1,800. And I have my approximate sell-through on the month. And if you want to divide that into a daily basis, you say 1,800. You take 240 divided by the days in the month. So let's just say it's a 30-day month. So I'm selling 8 per day, and then I would say 8 divided by 1,800. I know I'm kind of talking fast, but I have about a 0.5% sell-through rate per day, which is about standard for me. I'm a longer tail clothing seller. I price up, but I think it really helps you figure out what your model is and figure out what works for you. And I think the metrics in the spreadsheet and then that other metric talking about sell-through are the most important for determining and running your eBay business and making sure it's heading in the right direction. Let's see. Flipping Daily says listening and listing. Very cool. Shirley said, hey Luke, it's Shirley Goodies for all. How you doing? Let's see. Barry B and Hickory. Hey Barry, how you doing? He's asking when the next reseller meetup in Charlotte is. I don't think it's going to be in Charlotte again, but it'll be a different location, probably in the fall, I'm sure. Turtle Trader said, hey Lou, great video on the Green Room meetup. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate you watching. We had a lot of fun out there. Hopefully the footage was fun for you guys to watch. Inks and Threads said, Luke, have you ever asked one of your local Goodwills about bulk buying their pulls? I have not yet. I'm not in a position to handle sorting through a unknown palette right now. I'm gonna stick probably to like some new tags or new without tags buys for a little bit when I'm doing them. Like I said, I'm negotiating hopefully for like the end of August, early September. This other one, it's gonna be a smaller one. I'm not doing crazy this time. I learned a lot from this last one, but no, I haven't to answer your question. Yeah, and anyone who's in Charlotte, if you see me out while I'm thrifting, stop and say hi. I mean, I'll be out and about this weekend, I'm sure. All right, so any other questions about spreadsheets, guys? I just really wanted to get this out here and address it just because it's been a pretty frequent question. I've been getting it like every other day from people who are watching and just want to know how I use it. Oh, congrats. On the roads again said sold our first 2 items ever. That's awesome. Shalees asks, how come you're listing lots of stuff for $9.99? So what I've been doing right now is to combat the summer slowdown a little bit for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's been really working. I've been listing a lot of my old inventory, and when I define old, I have a different background for stuff that's like over a year old. And so I've basically just been trying to auction that. I've been doing $9.99 and then charging shipping on top of it. So basically one bid equates to the sale price I'm looking for, and it's been working really good. Like I had a ton of what I would call bad buys on blazers and sport coats that had like pinstripes or like non-matching suit jackets. And so I've been auctioning them off at $9.99 plus $9.99 shipping, and I've been selling a ton of them at $20. And I bought them for some of these I bought for $2 and $3 on half off days, like 18 to 20 months ago. So I've just been using that to kind of keep my sales up, get cash flow coming back through, clean out old inventory, because what I've run into is I really want to maximize my storage unit, and just holding on to all that old stuff is just kind of eh. Krillin, I agree with you normally. So any of my good buys, Krillin, I would never auction those off ever. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get rid of that inventory. And for whatever reason, auctioning them at $9.99 and charging $10 shipping, I'm selling it for $20. I bought it for 2 or 3 like 20 months ago, literally 20 months ago, and it's costing me $6 to ship. So I'm still netting about $10 on that. So it's just good just to get them out the door and free up room, especially for the pinstripe suit jackets, non-matching. Those are bad buys from 2 years ago. So just trying to clean that out and create room. I also have some newer tags, like older shirts that just haven't moved for whatever reason. And it's just been nice. I think it's added some visibility to my store. It's kind of freshened up stuff, and it's helped get things moving. Let's see. On the roads again said, do you have an average flip time frame? So I don't, and that's why it's so odd for me to do auctions. I typically, if I know it's a good buy, I just keep it as long as I can, because I know I'm eventually going to get the sale price I want. But for this case, this is I was learning, and you make bad buys when you're learning. If I think it's a bad buy, I'll clean it out. If I think it's a good buy, I'll hold on for 2 years. I mean, I've sold suits and blazers that were good buys that I've had for 12 months, 18 months. So it just depends on your model. And I'm going to do a different video probably later this week or next week on your business model and like determining what business model works for you. Because that's the other big question I get all the time. And I think it's a really important topic to talk about. And I'm just going to share with what I do. I mean, it's definitely not like the absolute guidebook for everyone, but I think it'll be good kind of parameters to start thinking about your business in. Juan just asked, hi, are your spreadsheets available? Yeah, so for anyone new or watching, so I have a website, it's in the description, called endlessentrepreneurs.com. You can head over there. On the resource page, I have all the both spreadsheets linked up, as well as a store calculator spreadsheet that kind of tells you when it's profitable to move up your store subscription. They're all free. You can just head over. You just got to pop in your email in there, and they'll send it via email to you, I believe, or it'll download straight to your browser. I haven't done it in a while. I can't remember. Definitely before you do it, check your firewall. Make sure that it's not blocking it. I've had a lot of people have issues, and what ended up happening was they had a firewall they didn't even know they had, and it was blocking it from downloading. So just a heads up there if you do run into issues. Antonio said, do you think it makes a difference to your sales? I'm hoping it'll help them stand out a little bit when people are scrolling through listings. If you're talking about auctions, yeah, I think it's helped a little bit. I think that I've watched some other really well-known sellers cycle in some auctions for the last month and a half, and it's been really helping get visibility and move some inventory. So I just think it's nice to mix things up every now and then, especially during the summer slowdown. I will tell you though, things are starting to pick back up, and come August, the first week of August, I'm hoping to be done with all those auctions. I probably won't be running them unless there's a bad inventory. And I'm going to stop running as high of a sale, and I'm going to probably price myself up a little bit to get ready for things should start to really pick up in August. So I want to get my pricing back up and capitalize on that. All right. Yeah, no problem, Juan. If you have any questions on it, feel free to hit me on Instagram with a direct message, or rewatch this video to help you. Shirley said, one more thing. Why do you feel you need to put your items on a Ziploc bag? So I don't use Ziploc bags. I'll show you what I use though. So these are clear poly mailers. They're 12 by 15. They have like a flat block on them, and that's what I tape right here, and I put my inventory number. I am switching to something slightly different. One of our viewers was really nice, and actually, if you watch 10K on the Bay, he has an inventory system where he clips reusable inventory tags on items, so he doesn't have to keep going up in numbers. So I'm going to be slowly transitioning to that. But these are just how my old stuff was. In either case, the reason I put them in here, just to answer your question that was kind of long-winded, is I have a non-temperature controlled storage unit. So that gives extra protection. They go in there and they go in a sealed bin, protects from moisture, smells, anything like that. Also, it's a really good feeling to the buyer when they get their item. It's in that bag, and then it's in a self-sealed poly bag. I think it's just like a really good perception to the buyer. So it's really twofold while I do that. Let's see. Krillin said, Luke, I know you wanted a reminder. LB Pants are long tail. Lowering prices won't help. Quarters are super slow. Yes, Krillin, and thanks. Keep reminding me every day. Actually, I'm kind of excited, Krillin. I'm glad you brought that up. I have sold 5 or 6 pair of LB Pants today. It's just been scaling since I've been doing promoted listings. This last like 2 or 3 weeks, it's just been churning. So really excited. I'm hovering pretty close to that $20 sale price too, Krillin. I think that this next month I'll probably start to price them up a little bit more and hopefully get back up over that 20. So really excited about that. Flipping Awesome said we are starting to switch to 10K's method for inventory. Not excited, but so worth it when we're done. Yeah, I think so too. I think it just makes sense to reuse inventory tags personally. And I mean, this way is fine. The way I'm doing it, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. It's not like it's a waste of supplies that much. I like to test different things out. I'm not ever glued or stuck on one method thinking it's the best. I'm always looking to evolve. So, hey there, M. Barnard. Thanks for stopping in. Turn on super chat settings. Do I not have super chat settings on? I'll have to look at how to do that. I don't know if I even know how to do that. I wasn't aware that you had to turn the setting on. Let's see. Pop out chat. Oh, no, that's not doing it. I will have to look on how to do that. Sorry, I appreciate you being willing to support me that way. Sorry that I don't have it up right now. Let's see. So, do you have a day planner for organization that you work off of, productivity, listing, shipping, etc.? No, what I have, this is pathetic as it is I have this. So I literally just write down the item and the measurements as after I get done with photos, just while I'm doing the draft. And that way, that's how I just kind of tick off what I have done. It's kind of old school. And then I have a journal that I journal in every morning, and I just do kind of like 10 to 15 tasks that like are non-negotiable, like working out, reading, journaling, listing 15 items, going to my storage unit. Like I really break it down to that, and I just try to tick those off and follow them every day. So yeah, that's kind of how I do it. I like writing. I don't like long form writing, but I like having the checklist. I think for me, it's just kind of like a productivity thing. Makes me feel good, so that's what I do. And Wade, feel free, put your channel link here in the description. I don't know if I'll let you put the link, but at least say what your channel name is. I'd love to check it out. All right, any other questions? Antonio said, I actually don't use inventory tags. I just keep a record of the tub, ABC, and listings. I find that because items are unique. Yeah, that's a lot of buyers do that, or sellers do that. And then they just, when a bin's empty or they know that it's lower, they'll just keep adding to it, which is definitely a great one to do. I've been so specific with mine is because eventually I plan to have an employee or two. And whether that's while I'm still working full time or whatever, like just to be able to go in and out of my storage unit. And I think the more specific I can be with my inventory, the better chance I have of an error not being made. If you're just this kind of a solo operator and you don't have employees, I think what you're talking about, Antonio, is totally fine, especially if you're starting out. I actually used to do something very similar to that. But as far as this goes, like, that's why I'm trying to be as specific as I can so that I plan for growth. I just had a question, any future plans for your website? Yes, lots of plans for the website. I kind of put in the legwork to get it started, get the domain reserved and all that up front. I kind of had a rough vision, but I wasn't sure. I just haven't had the time to devote for it. But future plans, and just kind of with this channel, is I always wanted to be able to interview people from other industries, because, like, I don't know, other business owners outside of reselling, I feel like, are so unique, and they also can add a lot of value to resellers. So kind of the goal, that's why you'll see the Entrepreneur Spotlight page on there, is just to interview other resellers, interview other entrepreneurs, and just kind of share their stories, and it can be like a networking resource. That's why I have the free spreadsheets on there. Just, it's kind of a place where I can share information easily. I intended to blog, but what I found out actually through this is that I really don't enjoy long form blogging. I don't really know why, but I don't like it. Just not good at it. So I'm probably gonna do a lot of micro video blogs and like link them up on there. So yeah, that's just kind of high level what I want to do with it. Flipping Awesome just started a channel too. Awesome, check that out. Let's see. Taiwanese us. I just want to say Midwest will crush East and West Coast sellers. We will see. We will see. Like a little friendly competition. Wow. Spencer Popeye's postcard said, finally caught a live show. I'm a one-man operation too, no clothing, but over 15,000 postcards. That's incredible. Wow. No problem, Econ Tips. He's just thanking me for the spreadsheets. Yeah, I mean, I figured nothing I do is unique or original. I just take what I see from other people, mix and match, and find something that works. So if it can help someone else, I'm really happy about that. All right. M. Barnard just asked, Luke, do you have an LLC? So I have an LLC that I set up at the beginning of the year. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I set it up at the beginning of the year, so I had the option when tax time comes that I can use it retroactively for the year. Actually, I strongly encourage, and while you brought that up, like, having an accountant that you can talk to throughout the year as your business grows is really important. And having one that you trust and understands your business and what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, is huge. I've picked my accountant based on that I have real estate aspirations. So like the house we're in now is going to become a rental. We're going to be acquiring other rental properties in the portfolio. And so I've picked a CPA that specializes in real estate. You know, he knows enough to take care of my eBay stuff, and I do a lot of legwork on it, but he helps me a lot on more of like the tax planning side of purchasing real estate and planning and things throughout the year. And being able to talk to him bi-monthly or quarterly is huge in planning ahead. So any of you who are growing your business, like, I encourage you to think a little longer term. Find somebody you trust. It's worth it to pay a little bit of money up front to get good advice and set up all your processes so that it doesn't hammer you later. Ecom says, I've totally copied Prof Sales numbering system and your storage setup. Hey, that's no problem. I mean, one thing I learned a long time ago is, like, you share other people, you teach other people, and, you know, it comes back to you, and you learn things from other people. Like, a lot of viewers have taught me so much in my business and helped me grow it. So it's a give and take. I mean, we're here to help each other. Barry, that's great tips, man. Thanks for giving the tips on the clothespins he uses. For same number system as a 10K in the Bay, but he uses the wooden clothespins. No problem, Thrifty Marcy. She said, thank you for the 5 a.m. motivation. It gets me going. Yeah, I've been doing the live at 5, trying to get more consistent. Now that I'm back, I'm not traveling for a couple weeks. They'll be every morning, Monday through Friday. They are very selfish videos because I love doing them, and they're more to get my butt out of bed. So, and then the question that always comes up, you can't even imagine how many times I got asked that at the Guru Meetup. Any plans to quit the full-time job yet? No plans yet. Sorry to disappoint if anyone's disappointed about that, but not yet. It's just, as long as my business is still growing, it doesn't make sense to yet. So I'm learning in both my job and I'm learning this. Actually, today I wrote the longest Excel formula I've ever written at work. I was pretty proud of it. It was so long that I got through it and I made a small error and I couldn't trace back through it to correct it, so I had to rewrite it all over again. Drummer said, Luke, what new thing did you learn today? Probably that formula I just talked about that I wrote at work. That was a new thing I learned there for sure. That was absurd, trying to work through that. I was trying to weight a budget back through customers in like a 60,000 line file. No problem, Robin. All right, I'm going to wrap up, guys. It's 8:30. I'm going to go hang out with Shannon for a bit and relax, recharge, and get to bed a little bit early, and then get back at it tomorrow. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully I answered some viewers' questions who requested this. And I'll be trying to put out at least one video a week that was viewer requested. I'm going to do the suit tutorial this weekend. I still need to go find and buy a new suit so I can actually list it and do the tutorial, but that is coming soon, I promise. Hit that like button for me, guys, if you don't mind. Appreciate everyone stopping in. Check me out on Instagram, Endless Entrepreneurs, and if anyone's interested in those poly bags I showed, the link's in the description. Feel free to check them out. Have an awesome night, guys. Appreciate everyone's support. See you guys.